Welcome to the Tinley Chamber Spotlight Show. I'm your host, Garrett Gray, and we're kicking off the Tinley Chamber Spotlight Show on location at the Pediatric Oncology Treasure Chest Foundation in Orland Park. So let's go inside and check it out. Well, I'm here at the Pediatric Oncology Treasure Chest Foundation with the CEO and founder, Colleen Kisel. Colleen, welcome to the Tinley Chamber Spotlight Show.
Thank you, Garrett, for this awesome gift of publicity.
Oh, no worries. This is an impressive facility. Could you tell the folks at home what the Pediatric Oncology Treasure Chest Foundation is all about?
Well, the Treasure Chest Foundation is a toy distribution operation for children and teenagers fighting cancer. So I can give you a little bit of a background how it started.
Sure.
It was 26 years ago in February that I heard the words, "I'm sorry, Mrs. Kisel, your son has cancer." And he was 7 years old, just a little guy. And he was not sick. He had a perfect attendance in kindergarten and a perfect attendance in first grade. And so there's a saying, it came in the night. However, looking back, I could tell you he had these bruises and he was as white as a ghost, but it did come in the night. And we were asked to go to Palos Hospital to rule out if he had cancer. And it was then that the doctors discovered through a blood test that my son was diagnosed with leukemia.
Wow. Horrible news.
Yes.
So this was the genesis. So he was diagnosed with cancer, and how did the toys come about with his treatment?
Well, he was treated at a hospital in Oak Lawn, a children's hospital, and they never had a sticker or a sucker. And here's the thing, the treatment was 4 years long.
Wow.
And every month he would endure some sort of painful procedure, predominantly checking for the reoccurrence of the cancer. And those procedures look like a spinal tap or a bone marrow aspiration. And back then, they didn't even sedate the kids. They just numbed the area.
And he was just 7 years old.
Yeah, he was 7 years old. So anyway, he started to become aware of going to the hospital meant it was going to hurt. And he would hide in his top bunk and scream and cry and rant and rage. And I just began to bribe my son with toys to get him out the door to go to the treatment center.
The genesis was bribery to get him to the hospital for those painful treatments.
Yes, for the place that would save his life. By the way, he is 35 today, so he's a young man today.
Wow.
But yeah, so I would bribe my son, and when his treatment was completed, I imagined a program of bribery for the kids at Hope Hospital, not the nation. So fast forward to today, we serve 14,000 children and teens every month in 58 children's cancer treatment centers in 20 states in the nation.
20 states? How far between the states?
Well, coast to coast, the center, Oklahoma, Colorado.
Wow.
We serve children and teens on both coasts. But we serve every little one undergoing treatment for cancer in Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. If any of those kids are diagnosed with cancer, they visit one of our treasure chests.
Wow. So tell me about the treasure chest. How do you get all these toys? The viewers at home can see these wall of toys behind us. It's categorized. How do you get the toys? How do you categorize them? And how do you get them to the hospitals for those children?
Yes, that's a great question. It's our community. This wonderful community that we live in supplies enough toys for the nation And by the community, I mean Oak Forest, Orland Park, Tinley Park, Payless. I mean, these are the churches and the schools hosting toy drives, and which one toy drive at one school or one church can net 600 toys.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
Yes. So it's the community, and even the individuals. Our door opens all day long with a man or a woman bringing in a toy for a little one fighting cancer. So then once it's brought in, it's categorized. As you can see, our awesome system. We categorize every toy, and then in the end, we build deliveries, taking a toy from each category and filling up boxes that ultimately weigh about 50 pounds.
I saw some of these boxes. They're huge. So when she says a box of toys going out, it's not one small toy. It's a box full of tons of toys, 50 pounds worth. And how many boxes go out in a month from the Treasure Chest Foundation?
Well, we guesstimate 800 pounds of toys a month.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
We talk in terms of pounds.
Wow.
Yes.
And I notice I see Star Wars toys, WWF toys. I see some of the Disney Frozen princesses and Wonder Woman. They're high-end toys.
Yes, yes. We have a little bit of everything. If someone was to bring a smaller in size toy, we have wonderful volunteers that group the toys and create gift packages, because we do not want a box of crayons on the bottom of our treasure chest.
Oh, yeah.
We want mom and dad to remind the little ones that they get to go to the treasure chest today when they wake up in the morning, that they will walk out with either a high-end toy or a high-end gift bag.
And how do you get these in these bags? I see you have the Treasure Chest Foundation symbol on there. And this one says Teen Girl, so you guys got it super categorized. Who helps you?
Yes, we have two groups that come in every week. One is Elam Christian Services. That's an adult organization of adults that are handicapped, and they will label each toy, and each label indicates where it came. Each toy is labeled to indicate where it came from. Now, that's good for grandma or grandpa who might receive this toy for their grandchild and say, "What's this Treasure Chest Foundation?"
Mm-hmm.
And they may make a donation, but we just want the people to know where it came from. Then we have a group of women, senior volunteers, I call them seniors, retired volunteers who create these awesome gift bags for the teenagers we serve. You can see inside of here, we have it looks like a makeup bag, nail polish, pair of socks, maybe even a pencil bag, a couple pens. Yeah. So a teenage girl or boy will also be rewarded for their bravery. We also have our gift cards that we, this is probably our greatest need, our gift cards and our items for teens. We seem to do wonderful with the toys, but we struggle with the teens. So that's a way that your listeners could help us.
Absolutely. And Colleen, how do people get involved? I know you have annual fundraisers. Yes. Can you tell the people a little bit about the annual fundraiser and how they can get involved?
Yes, well, we have an annual fundraiser once a year. Every charity has to have one. It's very, very hard to work on, but once it unfolds, it can, if you're lucky, can bring in about $30,000, $40,000. So what we really, really need, we need guests, but we also need items to auction off. That's where you bring in your funding. Like if anybody had
tickets to a game,
yes,
a Cubs game, a Sox game, a Bears game.
That's the tickets are the hot items. So we really could use the help in the community with tickets to sports events or high-end auction items.
Wow. Excellent. Yeah. So, Colleen, you also have a toy drive going on right now.
Yes, our holiday toy drives. Throughout the month of, it actually started in November, and it will run all the way until the day before Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Yes.
And they can bring the toys here
at
the Treasure Chest Foundation in Orland Park or the Tinley Chamber of Commerce to drop off some toys.
Yes.
Okay. And I hear you got a satellite program that launched this month.
Yes, yes. We opened a tiny little, I call it a satellite program, at Mercy Children's Hospital in Toledo, Ohio. This is an example of a treasure chest for a satellite type operation. By satellite, they will see 10 little ones every month versus 300 a week at the big guns. Yeah. So we take care of all the kids throughout the nation. If it's a satellite program off goes this little tiny treasure chest, but again, full of high-end toys.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, Colleen, I appreciate your time here at the Tinley Chamber Spotlight Show. You do a wonderful service for the kids who are undergoing cancer treatments. It brings a little sunshine to their day, and we were glad to have you on today's show.
Well, thank you again for this gift. Thank you.
Thanks, Garrett. What a great organization. My name is Julie Carlson, and I'm delighted to be your in-studio host for this month's show. I'd like to get started by introducing our next guest, Chamber Member Kelly Burke with Kelly Burke Insurance Agency. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity.
So what's new at the Kelly Burke Insurance Agency?
Well, the big thing right now, of course, is open enrollment, healthcare and Medicare. Medicare will go until December 7th, so we've got a couple more days left of it, but definitely the big thing within our agency anyway is the health and the Medicare.
Okay, and when is open enrollment start?
So for health insurance, it started November 1st, goes until December 15th, and then Medicare started October 15th, and that one will end December 7th.
Can you tell our guests what that means?
Sure. For health insurance, what it means is anyone who has a policy through the marketplace or has their own policy, this is their opportunity to make changes to an existing plan or enroll in a new plan. Outside of open enrollment, you will be locked out, so this is your opportunity to do that. I will say though, if you have a group or an employer-based plan, that's a totally different ballgame. This does not pertain to you.
Okay. How about what's new, what people can expect for 2020?
Let's see, no penalty. So that's kind of nice, of course. That penalty that I'm referencing is in the past you were penalized for not having health insurance. So you will not have that. They're still offering virtual visits. So this is kind of new, or newer, I should say. So instead of having to go into a location, so go see your doctor, say you have strep throat, instead of going to the doctor and sitting in the waiting room and waiting to be seen, making an appointment, that sort of thing, hop on the computer, get a nurse practitioner, don't even have to leave the house. They diagnose through the computer screen, and then you could shoot over to the store and get your antibiotics or whatever. Short-term medical plans. One of the big changes with the short-term medical plans, unfortunately, last year we were able to do a one-year policy period for those. This year it's going to be limited to 6 months. So the pro to a short-term medical plan is the premium is about half, so significantly lower. The con, of course, no pre-existing conditions are covered. So keep that in mind if anyone's considering a short-term medical plan. Since it's only 6 months, God forbid something happens in those first 6 months, you're not going to be able to get into a plan with the Affordable Care Act, and you're not going to be able to get into another short-term medical plan because you now have a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, great information. Kelly, do you have any tips that people can try to utilize to avoid the rate increases?
Yeah. So probably the biggest tip, if you do qualify for assistance, it's hard to calculate, but figure out your income for 2020. You want to use that figure just to give you an idea. So if your income is under $50,000 for a single person or one person household, you'll qualify for assistance. So if you're not thinking of this already, keep that number in mind. The reason I say this is because you can qualify for additional assistance, which is a reduced premium. The other thing I would suggest, anyone that's self-employed, that assistance is based off of your income after write-offs. So that's always tricky for people who are self-employed. Of course, you make significantly more, but after you cut everything out, that income comes drastically lower. So keep that in mind. The other thing I always recommend is shop your other plans. So I'm a broker, so I always recommend, this is my little plug, right? So I always recommend check out your home and auto insurance rates. You know, if you have to go up in one area, it might be helpful to bring another area down. And finally, the third option, I would say if you're not going to obtain a plan, look into a short-term medical plan. Like I said, the premiums are about half.
Okay. So now your business is located right in Tinley Park?
Correct.
And how long have you been there?
In Tinley, well, fairly new in Tinley, so I was in Orland for quite some time, and then recently moved over to Tinley, so about a month.
And I know that you've been a guest of our show in the past, but maybe you can remind our guests a little bit about what got you started into the insurance business.
Sure. Pretty much what got me started was the flexibility. I love being able to make my own hours. I love being able to work for myself. I am a broker, so that's another part that I love. So as a broker, it means I represent multiple carriers. So I'm not stuck to one carrier. If we take a rate increase on your home or auto insurance, for instance, we're able to look at other carriers to see if we can bring that rate down. So between the flexibility and the ability to work for multiple companies, those are probably the two things I love about the business.
Mm-hmm. And what, in addition to all of this, what other services might you want to tell our guests about today?
Sure. So I am a personal lines agent. So I specialize in auto, home, life, and health insurance. Part of the health insurance, like I mentioned before, is also Medicare. I do business insurance, but it's very small commercial side of things. I'm not very versed in the larger commercial side of things. So.
And who would you say are your ideal customers or clients?
Gosh, if you're talking health insurance side of things, anyone who has to obtain a plan on their own. So people who are self-employed are ideal. Those are probably the biggest population of the people that I surface on the health insurance side. Medicare, of course, is anyone above the age of 65. And on the home and auto side of things, anyone who has their own vehicle and owns their own home.
Right, right. Well, we know that this show is an opportunity for you to toot your own horn. What would you say sets Kelly Burke Insurance apart from everybody else?
Couple things. So if we're talking home and auto side of things, on the home and auto insurance side, we take a look at your renewal every year. I feel like that sets me apart from other agencies. So each year we're doing it behind the scenes. We're not letting you know, or we're not contacting you to tell you. We take a look and see what your renewals look like. So if that rate is higher, and usually my rule of thumb is $100 or more a year, if you take a rate increase of $100, we are contacting you and letting you know and giving you the opportunity to say, yes, shop that rate out. On the health and Medicare side of things, I certify every year. Not all agents do. I'm also certified with the Marketplace. I'm certified with the prescription drug plans and Medicare Advantage plans. So what that means is every year I'm getting educated. So I feel like there's a lot more education behind Kelly Burke Insurance.
Great. Any business plans, goals for the future that we'd like to, share with everyone?
Sure. I suppose the biggest goal is really get set in my new office in Tinley, grow that office. I would like to bring on, a couple more agents within the year and just continue growing.
Wonderful. We've got just about a minute left. Is there anything that you would like to share with our audience?
Sure.
A few parting words?
One thing I didn't mention when you asked about different changes for 2020, I did forget to mention employer-based plans, so group health plans. This is Blue Cross Blue Shield offers relaxed guidelines during this time. So another way to reduce rate or increase your network is to look into a group health plan. What they did differently is people who are 1099 now can qualify for a group health plan. That was not set up in years past. You need to have 2 employees, can be husband and wife, but husband and wife have to be set up as a partnership.
Okay. Well, you've presented a lot of great information, Kelly. Appreciate you being here. Guests, if you'd like more information about the Kelly Burke Insurance Agency, you can always contact the Chamber office at 708-532-5700 or on the website at www.tinleychamber.org. Kelly, thanks again for being a guest on the show.
Of course, thanks for having me.
My next guest is Chamber member Jeff Mankin with Hi-Ho Gems and Crystals. Hi, Jeff, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Julie. How are you? Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Well, why don't you get started by telling our viewers a little bit about yourself and even more about your business?
Sure. So I am with Hi-Ho Gems and Crystals. We are in downtown Tinley Park. And we are a gem and crystal company and holistic healing company. What we do is we bring in gems and crystals from all over the world, a lot of the US, a lot of foreign countries, and we bring these crystals in and people use them for various reasons. Some holistic health, some collection, some people are collecting as geologists, and everybody's familiar with gems and crystals. You even have some in your earrings. People have them, they wear them daily. Then this helps them with their health. A lot of people with anxiety and depression and stress use these types of crystals to help them not to take over for their medical practice, but as a way to just enhance to try to help with their health. This has been believed for many, many centuries that this helps.
And what got you started in something like this?
Well, we're in a great place in the Midwest. There's not a lot of places you can collect gems and crystals and really do this in the Midwest. It's usually more where the mountains are based. When I was 7 years old, my parents took me to someplace called Keokuk, Iowa. Keokuk, Iowa is where the Illinois and the Iowa River, where the two states meet. And there is a geode belt there that is millions and millions of years old. And what they do is people collect these geodes, and they've been doing it there for centuries. There's actually a fest that goes on. I'm going to plug their fest because it's so wonderful, but it's called Geode Fest. And you can bring your children there, and they let them run around in the streams and collect rocks and teach them all about these crystals and what people do with them. My parents brought me there when I was 7. And so I've been, well, we call ourselves rock hounds, and I've been a rock hound most of my life.
Okay, so on that note, I understand that, there's various reasons that people do collect the gems.
Correct.
And
correct.
what are some of those?
So let's start with one of the probably most basic. This is an amethyst geode right here. Amethyst is February's birthstone, and it is one of the most popular crystals that's out there, and you can use it, you can break it down and put it into jewelry. You can have large geodes like this in your house. You can carry them in your pocket. And amethyst, it's believed, and we're not going to say that this is 100%, but there is belief out there that using these crystals can enhance your health. So for amethyst, for instance, helps with restful sleep. Amethyst helps get rid of bad dreams, and it helps with anxiety and depression. If you've ever heard of like a worry stone, where a worry stone is a stone that somebody would keep in their pocket, and when they were worried or anxious, they would rub their fingers against it.
Okay.
It's the same type of concept. If the kids were playing with, what were they called, the fidget spinners?
Yeah.
I tell my kids that come into the store, crystals are the original fidget spinner. It's something to play with and something to keep your mind occupied.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, so what does a crystal healing kit do?
Well, crystal
what are they
healing
used
kit,
for?
again, is not to take place of assistance from a doctor. This is, a lot of the stuff helps with the symptoms, not necessarily the disease. So we have you come into the store. We talk about what issues you may be having, and then there's numbers of crystals that will help with those particular issues. How people use those crystals can be anywhere from just having it in their pocket, having it next to their bedside. People walk around with little bags. So this is, one of the reasons I'm here talking. This is a great Christmas gift, right? If you know somebody that's looking for a job interview, we have a job interview kit. If you know somebody that can't sleep and has insomnia, we have an insomnia kit. And you can come in and put crystals together, and we can help you try to find a solution for what you're suffering.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. All about helping people.
This is our store is all about helping people in a more holistic way, because so many people are having problems with insurance and medications and all of that. And so this is just a way that they can do this on their own, not at a very expensive price, and it's something that people have been doing for thousands and thousands of years.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Why don't we talk a little bit about Reiki,
Okay,
what
so-
that is,
so-
and how customers can
Sure,
use it?
absolutely. So I'm considered a Reiki teacher. I have been studying for 5.5 years. What Reiki is basically is energy. So we do holistic health. It's almost like a massage, but it's hands off. So you're not actually putting your hands on somebody. And the belief is that energy makes up everything in the universe. You, me, everything in this room, the world, everything's made of energy. We can harness that energy for healing. So this has gotten to the point, and I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want to confuse people here. I'd rather they come into the store and we can have a very long conversation. But this is now done in hospitals. This is done in Johns Hopkins. This is done in Mayo Clinic. There are doctors and nurses that are learning this process. They can't figure out how to charge for it at the moment. The insurance companies would love to, of course. But what they've learned, like one of the scientific things they've learned, is that doing Reiki before and after surgery, they've scientifically been able to prove that that helps your surgery heal faster. And the reason it's doing it, the belief is it changes the energy. So if people out there have heard of, and I'm sure they have, things like yoga, things like Tai Chi, things like Qigong, that's all energy work. When you go do yoga, you don't necessarily realize it's energy work,
Right.
because it seems like exercise. But you're exercising, when you do yoga, you're exercising your mind and your spirit, not just your physical body. That's how we try to help people with Reiki. Okay?
Okay. And Jeff, who are your ideal customers?
My ideal customer is anybody that's looking for help. If you're frustrated with the process of managing your health, whether it's your weight, whether it's depression, whether it's stress, whether it's something more serious, come in and talk to us. We don't. I'm never going to say we have all the answers. I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not asking you to get rid of your current process. This would be something that you can add to it. So what we've seen is people being able to get off their medications.
Okay.
What we've seen through things like Reiki is where people are able to wean themselves off some of the things that they're taking. Again, with doctors' 100% approval, but they start to see their health get better because they're doing Reiki, and Reiki is basically meditation, okay? And so you combine all that together, and your mind and your body, you start to realize they're all one component.
Okay.
And that's how people heal.
Okay.
Okay?
So we are getting into the holiday season.
Yes, we are.
Is there anything that you have going on for the holidays?
We
Any
do.
special promotions that you'd like to talk
I've
about?
got a couple things that I just invented. We're trying to serve people that can spend $1 and can spend $1,000 and everything in between. I don't ever tell a customer what to buy. I make recommendations for what I think they may need, and I let them buy that. With that being said, essential oils right now are huge. They're using them everywhere. And so what we're doing is we're creating an essential oil bar. So you can come into my shop, and instead of buying a $75 bottle of oil, I can sell you a spray for $10 or a roller ball. So you can try that essential oil to see if you like it. And then that's how you can use it going forward for your health, for your well-being. We're going to do the same thing with bracelets. So you can come into my shop, and there will be a station where you can make a bracelet on the fly and leave with that bracelet. So that
Very
way,
interesting.
very good for Christmas gifts, or just somebody that just wants to always wear the crystals that they have.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
Okay.
Oh, such wonderful information, Jeff.
Thank you.
Folks, if you'd like more information about Jeff's business, you can always contact the Chamber office at 708-532-5700 or visit our website at www.tinleychamber.org. Jeff, I'd like to thank you so much for being
you
a
for
guest
having me.
of our show. And as we wind down another year of the Tinley Chamber Show, I'd like to wish everybody a happy and safe holiday season. We thank you for tuning in for the past year, and we hope to see you in 2020. Happy New Year.